Hi guys, and welcome back for another video here at Ricky's Vape Spot. Today we'll be taking a look at the TopEvod by Kangertech. Kangertech is well known for their starter sets and starter products, and in my point of view they really do bring out good but affordable products to the market. And I think that at least at some point in time each of us had at least one of their products in hand. And I know from my vaping story that I started off with a Evod starter set and later then moved on to a Toptank 2 and then Tank Mini later. And that was really actually my turning point when I said, okay, I think this is getting good enough for me to stop smoking and just devote my passion to vaping. Since then, of course, a lot in the vaping industry has changed, and what Kanger did was they came out with this TopEvod starter set. It's basically a stick battery as we're used from before, bringing some changes to it, of course, easy top fill. But before we talk a little bit more about the Kanger TopEvod, let's dive down, do an unboxing, and have a closer look at it. Okay guys, and here we are up close and personal with the Kangertech TopEvod box set. On the back we do have some box contents, then we have an authenticity scratch and check sticker and some company information listed on the bottom. Made in China here, and that's about it. It's a sleeve box, so you get it out from the side, and in the box we do have this little warning sticker which suggests to close the tank immediately after filling it up. We do get an USB charger. This is a 510 charger. For all of you who actually used Ego type batteries, they know what it is. I'm actually surprised they didn't go with a micro USB charger. Here is the device itself. Underneath this we do get a short instructional manual. A little bit more on the device itself and how it is put together, and some warnings and safety features. This is an authenticity scratch check card. Well, I guess that's about it. Okay, and let's take a look at the device itself. We have an Ego style battery that can be removed by unscrewing it. Then we have the tank section here. We do have a removable drip tip, top fill cap. Here is where you actually put in the juice. The tank section can be disassembled as well. Here's the base with the coil installed. And the tank section itself is made up of 3 parts. It can be actually disassembled and unscrewed for cleaning purposes, like so. And here is the tank all broken down. Let's put this back together again and fill up the tank and see how it vapes. The top part comes up here and the drip tip is placed inside here. So let's put the coil back in the base. To fill it up they suggest priming the coil, so let's do that. I will put a few drops of liquid here to the side. I guess you can bottom fill it, but I think you'll get more juice capacity in if you fill it from the top. So let's screw this back together, open the tank section from the top, like so, and then just fill up the tank. You want to fill it up on the side so it doesn't get into the center hole. Supposedly it holds 1.7 mils of e-juice. Okay, and they suggest closing the top fill cap as soon as possible in order to prevent some leaking. Also, they suggest to let it sit for at least a minute before start vaping it. So I will use that time to try and compare it to some older versions of Kanger's Ego style tanks. And one of the first tanks that I actually used was the Kangertech Toptank 2 version 2. And this is the tank that then got me into vaping. After that came the Tank Mini, which was an amazing tank by itself too, at that time of course. And now this is supposed to be the next step in Kanger Ego style tanks, so we'll see how it goes and how it vapes. If you would want to charge the battery itself, you would actually have to unscrew it from the tank and then screw it in here in the USB charger, like so, and then put this either into a wall adapter or your PC. Once the battery is full, this LED will turn green. So I think we've waited long enough. Let's put this back together, go back to top and have a vape. So this is obviously not going to be your cloud chasing setup. This is just a 650 mAh battery with an Evod style a tank on top. So there's not much you can expect from that, at least in vapor production. I do think those new coils, the Vocc-T coils, are doing actually a really nice job. Let's look at this in price range, okay? This is around 15 euros, 14.69 euros on mtmstore.eu. And if we take a look at this in this specific price range, I don't really think you can get a better product for that kind of money. If we expand the price range a little bit more, then if you're willing to give double for your first vape, I probably wouldn't suggest this. This is something that, I could maybe try vaping. Let's give it a try and see how I like it. Are you gonna get the full vaping experience out of this starter set? I don't think so. I would maybe rather suggest something like the Ego AIO, for example. I think this is a really, really nice and cheap starter set and producing definitely more vapor than the TopEvod. But then again, those are a little bit different products, and this is double the price of this, so I guess it's okay. Let's talk a little bit more about airflow. This airflow for me is actually pretty loud, if you can hear that. If I compare this to the airflow of a Toptank 2, of course this is much more tighter, and but this is much more smooth than the TopEvod. And if I compare it to the Aerotank Mini airflow, also a lot smoother than this. They did cut down on the costs on making this as, I guess, as cheap as possible, and basically you do get what you pay for. In my point of view, if Kanger wanted to make a new starter kit that's really catered to those who transition from smoking, I think they should have made it a little bit tighter, the draw. This is pretty airy, and plus you can still get a really restricted lung hit out of it. And trying to mouth to lung this, it's basically an pretty airy experience. And not that much vapor production. By taking those three tanks into consideration, the Toptank 2 and the Aerotank Mini and this TopEvod tank here, I think this is still the best for mouth to lung experience, so transitioning from cigarettes. Still enjoying that. The Aerotank, of course, too, but this Toptank 2 is a much smoother draw. And the TopEvod, well, it is what it is. If I would have to say anything about improving this starter kit, first of all, I would say Kanger, please get the airflow from the Toptank 2 on here. Keep the size, that's good. Second, voltage adjustability. Just put the knob back here, it's gonna be fine. I think this coil with the 650 mAh battery, it's pretty underpowered. And when buying replacement coils, make sure you're not getting any coils over 1.5 ohms, because those will just totally decrease the vapor production. And since the battery is pretty weak by itself, you actually do want to get most out of it. So I would highly suggest, if you buy replacement coils, get the 1.5 ohms, or if you can find lower than that, 1.3 maybe, or 1.4, that's okay. All the older coils that you were using, those dual coils, they still fit inside here, so you might, if you have some coils lying around, you can still use them. Another thing to consider is that you might want to cut down on the VG level. If you're using high VG juices, use 50-50, 60-40, or I think top 70-30 maybe. I haven't tried that in here. Those juice flow holes in the coil are pretty small, so you might not want to overdo it with the VG content in your juice. Otherwise, it's basically okay. Let's give this another vape. Pretty decent. It's one of those vaping pens that you pick out while going shopping for something else. It's a cheap budget device that might get you in the right direction of vaping. If you are on a budget and have only 14-15 euros to spend on a vaping device, I think you can't go wrong with it. If you want to up your game a little bit and want to spend, let's say, 25 to 30 euros, I think you will be much better off with a Ego AIO. And this is my recommended product for starters right now. So this is okay. Is it gonna get you a really long way? I don't think so. There's a few things I really like about the TopEvod. First of all, its size. It is a 650 mAh battery with a short tank on top, but I actually do like this combo a lot for its size. So I think this is somewhere in the price, like in C4 blister kit, starter kit. And for that price, I would highly recommend get this. Those coils inside the TopEvod, those new VOCCT coils, are definitely much better than all the other coils that Kanger has produced. Plus, way ahead of C4 atomizers and stuff like that. So, I think that's basically about it. Have I said everything? I think I did. As I said, you can get them at mtmstore.eu. I will put all the links down in the description box. And while you're already there, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did find some of those informations useful. I'm wishing you all a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you again soon.